Well, it has been a very, very interesting 24 hours. So, House of the Dragon Season 2 dropped last night, and there were a ton of people that are upset about Blood and Cheese. And not for the reasons that I thought they would be upset for Blood and Cheese. So, going into this, I knew, as somebody who read Fire and Blood, that Blood and Cheese was going to be divisive. But I thought it was going to be divisive in the opposite direction. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of people online that are genuinely upset at the fact that Blood and Cheese wasn't as faithful to the canon as possible, which I find to be absolutely fucking insane. So for those of you who have never read Fire and Blood is what House of the Dragon is essentially based upon. However, one of the things I always point out for Fire and Blood is that Fire and Blood is a sensationalized version of events. It is a book, historically, canon wise, written by the victors. And, well, not even only the victors, but also sympathizers of the Greens. That is designed to essentially place the majority of the blame and to paint the blacks in the most horrible light as possible. Which means that events that occur inside of Fire and Blood are typically 10 to 50 times not as bad as the historical events should have been. However, for people that were complaining about the fact that it is not canon to or not faithful to the books, I have a genuine question for you. What did you want? Because as somebody who has read the books, there are not one, not two, not three, not four, but five individuals in that situation who all get sexually assaulted. Three out of those five individuals are children. One of them ends in a beheading of a child. I have a genuine question. Did you honestly believe that HBO was going to be like, fuck it, we ball? HBO has not been bold in regards to on screen graphical content that kind of makes you flinch and jump in the SA department since season 1 of Game of Thrones. Yes, there's been SA that has happened since season 1, but nothing was ever as visceral as the moment that Khal Drogo sexually assaulted Dany underneath the tree on their wedding night. They never really went into that department again where you physically saw it. Usually they would pan the camera off somewhere else and you would hear the essay happening off screen, in which I think about Sansa, where it's not you do not see Sansa getting essayed, but you see the look on Reek's face as he's essentially crying, watching this happen to her, and knowing that he can do absolutely nothing to stop Ramsay from doing what he is essentially doing. I believe that this was the best path that they could have taken in regards to Blood and Cheese, where they did not rely on graphic, brutal execution of a child or the essay of multiple other individuals that are in the room with these two men, but instead the entire performance, the entire emotional weight is carried on the face of Helaena. Once again, the actress whose name escapes me at the moment did a phenomenal job as Helaena. The fact that she has difficulty expressing essentially her emotions, the fact that she has to choose between one of her children to essentially die, the fact that she snatches up her other child and she starts to run, but she's unable to express the fear, the sorrow, the grief, and as someone that my mind overthinks situations and will replay things inside of my head. For a character like her who overanalyzes the world around her and can be startled and shocked by sounds, and those sounds or shadows can basically stay inside of her mind for hours on end, hearing the sounds, the squealing sounds of your baby as you are fleeing, then hearing two grown men talk over the sound of a saw cutting off their head, as you're trying to frantically get away to get some help as you're rushing to your mother. Heartbreaking. I believe that Blood and Cheese was fantastically done in a, even though the situation that occurred does still end in the murder of a child, it is far more tasteful than what we would have received if they had done a one-to-one adaptation of the books. People that are online complaining about the fact that Blood and Cheese wasn't as gory or as faithful an adaptation from the Fire and Blood source material are absolutely fucking goofy to me. I really don't know what you expected, and if you really thought that HBO was going to pull that trigger and have 5 individuals, 3 of them being women, females, and then 3 of them being children, being essayed in a room by 2 grown men, leading to the decapitation of one of them, you need to get your head examined. That's the only way I can put it. Like, you really do need to just head out and get your head examined and ask, why is it that I was expecting to see something like that at 9 o'clock at night? But no, I think that what we received essentially from Blood and Cheese was as tasteful as possible, basically, because all the other scenarios would not have worked. Even though Game of Thrones is a show that has done graphic violence, this was, I feel, a bridge too far. And no, it wasn't going to happen. And if you're somebody who thinks that it should have happened, sorry to say, but I think that you're a fucked up individual and you need to get your head examined. But let me know what you guys think about Blood and Cheese. Are you on the side of people who are making common sense, going that this was a good adaptation of this fucked up situation? Or if you are even on the opposite side, I need to know what your thinking process is in regards to wanting to see that level of graphic violence. Comment down below, let me know. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button. If you're also new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.